I was just editing the audio for part 11, which would be the first half of this trial. And when I imported the audio into Audacity, I saw that it was just like a big brick of sound across the entire scope of the video, which indicates to me that the audio was clipping the whole time, so that it was always filling up the dynamic, because it was always filling up the dynamic range. And when I record the video in OBS, you can see, how close to 0 dB you are when you're talking. So you'll know if you're clipping if you just watch the bars, but I wasn't watching them or watching them diligently enough, so I just didn't notice, even though I could have noticed while making the recording. And that happened just because I use just a USB microphone. I use a Blue microphone. Yes, there are ideas in my head to upgrade it. There will be certain applications that I would like to eventually pursue that will require me to use a nicer setup of microphone or potentially multiple microphones. Like you need a pencil mic, you need a small diaphragm and for instruments and a large diaphragm for voice and so on. But for now, I'm just using a $100 Blue microphone. It has support software. That support software gives you a gain. For some reason, that gain increased. And it gets this arbitrary scale from 0 to 100, which obviously that doesn't have units, because anything with real units probably would go from 0 to 100. So I don't, it's not very descriptive, but it moved it up automatically from 73 in this unitless metric up to 83 without me changing it. In fact, I never changed that gain besides, at least I haven't in years, besides to change it back when it changes by itself. So it did that to me. I didn't notice what was happening. So the audio sounds terrible in the previous part, throughout the whole thing. I posted it anyway, because what else am I supposed to do? But I have to apologize. I really goofed up that audio. If you watch like the videos I tend to put out for a while, you notice that kind of goof up tends to happen quite often. Stuff like that. Okay. That's it. Why am I stalling? Oh, because I don't have the game in the foreground. I don't have I should probably actually, and I should have a browser open. I should prep this beforehand, but I'm unprofessional like that. With a regular Google Translate, in addition to the text extractor, just so that I can, put spaces between the words and stuff, or isolate specific words, if just doing the native text extractor translate doesn't produce a clear enough translation. Okay. Now I can advance in. At 12, right? And there's no reason not to just jump right in. Let's see if the hook gives me, yeah, I do, okay. Cool. Tyra. What does this word made refer to? Or, I can't think of anybody but you. Akane. That. Is it real? Did you really kill Tyra? Did Tyra really kill Tomori? Wait a minute. There must be some misunderstanding. Well, something like that. This is too much. Wait a moment, everyone. I didn't do it, basically. I didn't do anything. So I was like, it's like there was that Mikako interjection there. I mean, Mikako is the one who deciphered message. She didn't actually say what the answer was. She just prompted the protagonist to decipher it by giving us, like, pointing us to the right direction. Right? She probably knew what it said. But I'm feeling that Mikako also knows that what it points to is not correct. But she's so not talkative. It's being minimalistic there. But I noticed that's interesting. A dying message written by someone who has dead. So a Chukin Sarami is a dead person, right? Or, yeah. Okay, so I can actually read that one. I can't have a cursor inside there. The first part of that line, this line by Kinji, dying, which is dying, messaginen, message, chunin, which is an adjective form of dead, sarami, which is person. I can't get the singa. It's like a thing that was written. Yeah, okay. So sin is like the kind of the adjective form of to write. Like chuka is the adjective form of like to die, right? And then got is like a thing. So it's like the thing that was written. The dying message was a thing that was written by a dead person. Which is kind of weird to awkward. That's an awkward translation in English. So you say a dying message written by a dead person. It's nice when I can actually read one of them. I usually can't. Okay. The dead don't lie. Odd. As long as the message refers to the word made, it's already been revealed. As expected, that lie at the beginning of the trial was to hide his crime. To lie at the beginning of the trial was to hide her crime? No. Kit is like that. Or kit can sometimes used by like the. And then ani is no. K, I actually forget what it is in this context. But I think it's like a grammatical thing. Don't get it confused when that little stem goes the other way. That's dog, but that's not dog the way it's written there. It's pronounced the same, though. It's like a homonym of dog. Tyra. Ne is your. Ibaro. I guess Ib is mouth, right? So iro is using your mouth. And then marhigwa is to say. So Tyra, you say using your mouth. Chungmar is like really, which is kind of interesting because it's like English. It's so unexpected. English is goofy in that we have this word really, right? Which has two meanings. One is like very. It's the same meaning as very, and the other is truth, right? It is actually. So the word really is almost completely unnecessary in English. We have the word very to cover it in some applications, and actually in other applications. I think very and actually completely encompass all of the meanings of really. And we wouldn't expect that to happen in any other language because you wouldn't just intuitively, right? But I think chungmar actually in Korean can be used the same way as well, because I see it used the same way all the time in this visual novel. Interesting. Chungmar-ro, I guess that ro makes it like actually. Nega is you as the subject of the sentence. I presume bombinin is something to do with culprit. I is I. I am not the culprit. Okay, so yeah. Bombini is culprit. Bombini. Akane. Why do you say I am the culprit? To be sure, Okay? The dying message says made, but there's a big X next to it. And the text tractor doesn't grab X, of course. You guys only interpreted the made part, but didn't interpret anything beyond that. Doesn't the literal meaning of X mean negation? No, the literal meaning of X is just X. In other words, doesn't it say it's not the maid, so I am not the criminal? Well, it's really weird to, instead of write a message, I said this probably in the original, like originally recorded this trial, it's really weird to write a message where instead of, we could have written who was the criminal, but instead you just wrote one specific person is not the criminal. Why would you make it so that, you could have written something so much more useful? I'm not sure what Tyra said, but clearly, as the saying goes, we haven't completely deciphered the dying message yet. Yeah, that X, DRA X Marichi. I guess it's just the X. If you look at it, the X after. If you look at it simply, it may seem to be not really a maid. If as Tyra said, the dying message means that it's not a maid, then I'm even more suspicious of Tyra. Why? Because she would have modified afterwards. You wouldn't write maid in the first, not the maid in the first place, right? Don't you think so? If the message is the so and so is the culprit, then why is there any need to point out that a certain person is not the culprit? Oh, did the game freeze? Rather, it seems like tried to exclude herself. She tried to exclude herself by saying, it is not the maid. That means, are you saying the culprit themselves wrote the message? There is no way the message is necessarily true. Or there's not no way. The message may not necessarily be true. It appears that a lot of mystery dramas, the culprit is manipulating the messages to turn the situation to their advantage. Like Ace Attorney. Surely, if the words are true, there's only one person who benefits from saying that it was not the maid. And that person would be the maid. Regardless of whether the interpretation of the dying message is one way or another, there seems to be no place to run. Tyra, it was really you. Reading this after the fact. Was it really Tyra? Or it's basically just, is Tyra really the culprit? Can I conclude this? But what? What is this uneasy feeling that has built up in my heart? Just cheep is a mimetic thing. This whole situation feels contradictory. Can we end with Tyra being the culprit? We can vote now. Can we vote now? If we keep doing this, it'll only be more painful. If that's the case, let's finish this quickly. Wait. Kurokawa. For sure. It is true that Tyra is suspicious. It's hard to say that she is the culprit, though. There is an unresolved problem. Unresolved problem? Kurokawa's words. It's too unclear to end like this? This must be the reason for my feelings of discomfort. Or this is yes, there is a secret that has not yet been solved. Okay, so I want to use Hatano's injury. Okay. There we go. According to my notes. You were Chung Weep. Okay. On the 7th one. Oh, this is it right here. Oh, the smile. I didn't notice that when I did the other build. I like that smile. That's right. Maeda. Okay. Fuagarano? Whatever that means. Guys, I think it's a little too early to conclude that Tyra is the culprit. What are you talking about? You're the one who said the dying message was made. That's right, but I can't come to a definite conclusion yet. Thanks to Kurikawa, I was able to remember. Do you remember that Hatano was injured immediately after the incident? Of course, the reason we are trying to end the trial now is to prevent Hatano's condition from getting worse. Will everyone wonder why Hatano got hurt? When asking why she was injured, I heard that she was hit by a wire trap. Which hit her in the leg, I guess. It says ankle, but whatever. Think about it, there must be someone who installed the wire trap. The criminal, I presume, installed it. I would guess so. In other words, according to your opinion, Tyra, the suspected culprit, installed the wire trap. Question? No, wait a minute. I've never installed anything like that. Why would I target a Yame-chan? Well, we know that there wasn't a target. What can't I do with... What? Google Translate says, what can't I do with my mom's words? That's obviously not what he's saying. I don't know what he really is saying, but I don't care. Wait, Tyra set up the wire trap? That is definitely... When was it installed? Then when was it installed? I don't know exactly about when the wire trap was installed, but I can guess because I was there when Hatano was injured. Hatano was trying to catch an object at that time, and the wire was installed along the path leading to the object as if it were bait. If so, the wire must have been installed at the same time the item was placed. And that thing wasn't there, at least at that point. Tomori died. The fire broke out immediately after the investigation began. Right? Okay. The wire was installed probably right after the investigation began. Is there a valid reason for this opinion? Because the wire was so thin and inconspicuous, the exact installation time of the wire itself cannot be known, but it can be inferred from other factors. Actually, Hatano didn't just get hurt while walking. I know this. I know because I was right next to Hatano when she was injured. Hatano found an object and was going to investigate it, but she was injured by a wire that was in the path. Hatano, do you remember? I'm talking about the burned out flashlight, or the burned out flashlight. Yes. When we found the body together in the response in the switch room, there was no such item in the corner. But after we started investigating, it was there. So the culprit used a flashlight as bait to trick someone into getting caught in a wire trap. Then, as soon as they placed the flashlight, they installed a wire trap. In other words, the appropriate time when the wire was installed was immediately after the investigation began. Yes, right after the investigation started. The wire was installed immediately after the investigation began. Yamaguchi. This is strange. Strange. This is strange, basically. Strange, strange, strange. Strange, is it not? Suddenly got Grando. Or whatever. Everyone open your ears and listen carefully. I'm not doing that voice anymore. If Tyra is the culprit, it means that Tyra installed the wire immediately after the investigation began. But that's impossible, because Tyra has been with me the whole time. You were with Tyra? Then no way. Is there a relationship? Is that possible? Don't drip at times like this. I guess don't leak. What? Is that so? To be exact, I only know Tyra's trends because we both did nothing in the same place. How could you say so confidently that you did nothing? Well, I tried to investigate, but I didn't make much progress. That's not what's important. It's Tyra's story. Why is Google Translate translating this to I swear to God? Please, don't let me read this stuff. Okay, Tyra stayed in one spot ever since everyone gathered in the power room until the trial announcement came. Is that really what happened? Putting aside everything else, even if I did a little research, it wasn't enough and it was only in one place. I want to hear why you did that. Even if you did a little research, it wasn't enough and you only stayed in one place. Why did you do that? That's because I was shocked that Kizuna-chan died. Was there anyone among us like that? Still, we all participated in the investigation, but that's not a reason. Basically, weren't we all like that? So, because we were all like that, that's not a good reason for you to not investigate. That's not that important. What's more important than that right now is the fact that Tyra didn't do anything during the investigation means that Tyra couldn't have installed the wire trap. Yeah, that's why I say it's strange. Then Tyra is not the culprit? That's right, you've been saying it. You've been saying that from the beginning. What? But what does it mean to be the maid? Do we misinterpret it? Not only that, but Tyra even lied. No matter how you look at it, Tyra is suspicious. But then you can't explain the wire trap, right? What's going on? I feel like my head will go crazy if I twisted it any further. Can we stop at this point? If you want to die, do so. I won't stop you. She pipes in all of a sudden. It's definitely strange. Aside from the mere contradiction, the logic itself is playing around. As if several events came together to appear as one event. What are we missing? There are too many contradictions to conclude that Tyra is the culprit, but that does not mean that there's a different direction to the case. That does, what is it? That sentence doesn't make any sense, but whatever. I'll just go with it. What is the truth of this incident? I would make more sense if it said, that must mean that there is a different direction to the case. If Tyra isn't the culprit, what have we done so far? Was it all nonsense? But then, who on earth is the culprit? That's not possible. We've come this far and we're back at the starting point. Meanwhile, Tano's leg injury is getting worse. If it's not Tyra, then there must be at least one suspicious person here. Who is it? Who would that be? Oh, Kurukawa. What? Why Kurukawa? I don't understand the dying message. Or the installing of the wire. Anyway, no one has an alibi at this point, and in the meantime, Kurokawa, who suddenly disappeared during the investigation, is suspicious to everyone. Come to think of it, even though the announcement announcing the start of the trial rang, we gathered quite late, and she came quite late, and Monokuma brought her. Isn't Kinjo the same? Kinjo, Kinjo said the same, right? Yeah. We need to pay attention to her as the main suspect. Did Kinjo say we need to pay attention to her as the main suspect? If Taira, who is in the spotlight as a suspect, is not the culprit, would the suspicion naturally fall on Kurokawa, the next suspect? Wait a minute, it's true that Kurokawa was late, but the reason she disappeared during the investigation because she was doing her own investigation. In fact, Kurokawa found the kitchen knife missing from the kitchen. Even if the investigation is like that, why was she late? I've been curious since the beginning of the trial, regardless of whether she was the culprit or not. I wanted to hear the reason for the delay. Kurokawa, is it not? Are you not the culprit, Kurokawa? Please answer me directly. Don't make me anxious. I am not the culprit. I cannot tell you why I was late now. I will tell you after the trial. If it was for an honorable reason, is there a reason to hide it? Why can't you tell? If the more you do that, the more suspicious it becomes. Because she can't tell Monokuma. I'm sorry. Trust me, I'm not the culprit. Regardless of the reason, it's not a stretch to say that Kurokawa is the culprit. It does not seem to have anything to do with the message. She does not seem to have anything to do with the message, right? It would be possible that she installed the wire. No, but there is no other way. It's impossible. It's impossible. And who's the culprit? It has to be a ghost. Ha! Do you idiots really have no answer? You should have noticed at this point. Have you not noticed at this point? What do you mean? That what the truth of the incident is? I said I wouldn't help you. What did I say? I said I wouldn't help you. But since in this trial, my very life is at stake, I will solve it if you don't find the right answer. So what I'm saying is that you guys are such idiots that I have to no answer at this point. And you guys are such idiots that I have to come forward like this. You damn bastard. Mikaru is taunting us. Mikaru's attitude is something or other. Empty, whatever. But I think she knows something. Mikaru might give us a clue to the situation that we can't solve on our own. Watching you guys reason, I can see how rock hard your brains are. To put it simply, you are idiots who, when a problem cannot be solved, only try to solve it with the same solution without even thinking about other methods. Thank you for kindly summarizing. That means you know something. If you can't solve it by using the same method, then try a new method, baby. Hi, Google Translate. What do you mean by new method? It means letting go of stereotypes. Oh my, I was wondering why you were so quiet, but you finally opened your mouth, psycho cop. We finally reached the truth. It doesn't matter if Japan's best police officer is slower to come up with the answer than a professor. It doesn't really matter, but I'll just let you know that I am not competing with you. There's no harm in being cautious. Is there any harm in being cautious? There are sparks flying between you two. What do you mean, let go of the stereotypes? Have you both figured something out? First of all, I'd like to apologize. Since I said loudly that I would solve everything when the trial took place, I misinterpreted the case and almost got tricked by the criminal. But it was worth it. Why was it worth it? I have some guesses, but I have no idea that the case would be... I had some guesses, but I had no idea the case would be this twisted. It twisted? No wonder you guys groaned. Well, he's more empathetic. If you try to solve this case simply by thinking that there is a criminal and the criminal kills the victim, contradictions will inevitably rise. Wait a minute. So this isn't a murder case? No, it's a murder case, and it's clearly filled with malice. But remember what I said earlier. If you think it's an ordinary murder case, it will be difficult to solve. While investigating before the trial, I guess the general framework, but I couldn't confirm it at that point either. However, as the trial progressed, Tyler's reaction and the dying message being revealed. After that, the truth was reached. To be precise, I was able to figure it out thanks to the mystery and one clue that we have solved so far. What's that truth? Well, the clue that they've uncovered is that Tyra didn't do anything. That's important. To put it simply, this case is not one where where you name one culprit and one victim. Well, the criminal is not the same as the name of the criminal is not the whatever. There's not one criminal and one victim. So what are you saying? There's an accomplice? But didn't Monokuma say that being an accomplice is of no benefit at all? It's too ambiguous to call them an accomplice. But what is certain is that a student other than the criminal was clearly involved in the incident. 3 people. Who was the third person? Who was that? It was you, Tyra. Tyra is the third person? Does that mean something different from the criminal or an accomplice? For now, I'd like to see it that way. Anyway, as you said, if the culprit laid the wire trap, Tyra herself couldn't have done it. Not only Yamaguchi, but I also saw Tyra sitting still. That Akane is no longer suspected of being the culprit? No, wait a minute, I'm really sorry, but it's because I still don't understand. If Tyra wasn't the culprit, I don't know why the dying message was pointing to the maid, and why she even lied to us. So I told you, Tyra is a third person. What? I'm talking about the third person who is neither a criminal nor an accomplice, but clearly is heavily involved in the incident. She probably doesn't even realize it, but the woman's personality shows her true feelings on her face. Just as you guys find it strange, that maid lied, and the proof is what is written in the dying message. Looking at everyone's expression, it looks like you still don't understand. Before we discuss the criminal, let's first clear up some questions about Tyra. Okay, third flashlight, which is that fourth thing. Oh, whoops. This one, right? There's third. Okay, getting ready here. Is this like literally the only one in there? No, there's one at the beginning too. I just realized there's no absorbs in this game. No, Yuhara. There is. There is evidence that 2 people were involved in the crime. What is that? The flashlight. It's the flashlight. 3rd flashlight? There was 1 more flashlight. What do you mean by the extra flashlight? Hatano. The flashlight you're trying to pick up. The flashlight she was trying to pick up. It's a flashlight that is said to be the reason why Hatano hurt her leg on the wire. But what do you mean there is 1 more? I think there are people who didn't see it. So let me tell you, there were flashlights in the switch room that were broken. 2 of them, that is. And my dismay discovered them. I discovered a 3rd flashlight other than those 2. The day the floor opened, did everyone look there? The switch room is a dark place without a single light, without any light. Without a flashlight, you can't see anything. And whatever the circumstances of Tomori's death there, she must have had something to do with the switch. Must have had something to do with the switch room, and in that case, she must have definitely taken a flashlight. So one of the 3 flashlights is probably the one Tomori brought. And if you can't see anything, murder is impossible. The fact that the criminal killed Tomori inside the switch room means that they also took a flashlight with them. Therefore, the 2nd flashlight was brought by the criminal. Wait a minute, then. Who brought the 3rd flashlight? That is, Maya explained it very well. I don't know what the switch room is for, and there's nothing to see there, but no one would have bothered to go in there without a flashlight. Even if you did go, you should have brought the flashlight back when you're done your business. There's absolutely no reason to leave it behind. Moreover, 2 of them were broken. This is probably the aftermath of the physical fight between the criminal and the Tomori. Question, or not. Wait, isn't that just a guess? I can't say for sure unless it's possible that someone forgot and left something behind in the past. There is evidence that all 3 flashlights are connected to the incident. As Kinjo said, 2 flashlights are broken and the other one was burned. That's right, it's a flashlight that got caught up in a fire. I'm not literally shouting with my whole body. This is the flashlight that was at the scene. What? I guess it is literally shouting with its whole body that I am a flashlight that was at the scene. Now you know. Is there any fool that still doesn't understand? According to your reasoning, the fact that there was a name involved in the incident was the basic basis of this incident. What? You couldn't have known, because the criminal was probably trying to use Tyra. She's like, I didn't know. You couldn't have known because the criminal was trying to use you. What do you mean? Since we come this far, I think it's okay to reveal a little bit. I called Tyra a 3rd person, but this doesn't just mean that she witnessed or helped the criminal. What? How is Tyra involved in the incident? By this point, everyone may have noticed, but she's not the criminal. Is that an appropriate call? By the way, Tyra didn't stab Tomori? Or do you mean that Tyra wasn't the one who stabbed Tomori? That's right, except maybe what? She did though. There is a separate culprit who delivered the fatal blow and took her life. But it's probably Tyra who left Tomori in a dying state. What? Is that a lie, Tyra? Kiju-kun. Wait a moment. Man, I don't know what you're talking. You don't know what I'm talking about? Tyra Akane is also a criminal who committed a crime of attempted murder. A damned bitch. Clock. Well, wait a minute. What are you saying? Tyra is a murderer? Or is a killer? Why are you saying you can't admit that Tyra Kobashikawa is not the culprit? No, it's not that I can't admit it, but why Tyra? That's right, I don't know what you mean that there is another culprit who inflicted the fatal blow, even though she was the one who did it in the first place. And I don't believe that Akane did such a thing. I can't forgive you if you dishonor Akane without a reasonable reason. That's right, Tyra is definitely not the type of person to do something like that. The beginning again. How many times have I told you that you people can't tell by looking at the outside? The reason you can't tell what a person is from looking at them from the outside. The reason you think Tyra Akane is not the type of person to do something like that is because you only know that much about her. But how did Tyra stabbing Tomori come about? How did it come to this? Have you guys already figured it out? Have we already solved it? No way. Well, the evidence that Tyra directly injured Tomori is exactly as you always suspected. The dying message, referring to the maid, and Tyra's suspicious lies. Nevertheless, why is she not the culprit who directly committed the murder? You guys solved that too, it's simple. That woman didn't have time to install the wire. And I always hated that reasoning, because it's like, why do they think the culprit has to be the one to install the wire? Couldn't there just be someone who just installed the wire for some reason afterwards? Well, everyone looks like they don't understand what's going on. Well, it's like, I guess they couldn't find a reason why someone would install the wire if they weren't the criminal. But why would they install it if they were? We'll find out. I'm sorry, but there is other evidence other than this that Tyra Akane committed attempted murder. Well, what is that? No, King Joe is right. There is evidence that makes it, I guess, not impossible, impossible to think any other way, or something like that. It makes it clear. Maeda, what are you? Why? I don't want to think that, but everything he just said is true. I also found out. Looking at the crime scene, there were traces of someone else that could never have been there, according to the true culprit's intentions. Those traces were probably left by Tyra. According to the image of my memory, that's definitely. Skip. Oh, I didn't leave a note about this. I feel it's supposed to be his blood. Do you remember what we discussed earlier about why the culprit started the fire? It was a device to heat up the old window and remotely break it, making us think that the culprit was in the switch room and escaped by breaking the glass. Yes, and in fact, we almost fell into that trap and got confused in our reasoning. But we suddenly brought up the past, but you suddenly brought up the past, talking about why Tyra is involved in the case. Think about it carefully. If the criminal's goal is to make people who think they broke the glass and left, then why are there bloodstains at the entrance? Bloodstains at the entrance? There are bloodstains that look like someone left the switch room on foot. There's evidence of that's evidence of a person whose intentions were different than the criminals. Isn't it possible that that's just Tomori's bloodstains? If Tomori left the switch room bleeding, the power room outside the switch room would have been full of bloodstains as well. But the bloodstains Maeda mentioned disappeared from the entrance of the switch room. Do you know why? It was dark inside the switch room, so did you find bloodstains after coming out? What? I don't know what that means. There was a broken flashlight. There were broken flashlights inside this. There were 2 broken flashlights inside the switch room. If they had broken during the struggle, you wouldn't have realized that the blood was splattered in the dark after stabbing Tomori. So are those bloodstains traces of Akane? Or are traces by Akane? Wait a minute, the real criminal could have attacked Tomori and walked out towards the entrance without knowing there was blood on them, and then started the fire. If you were to do this, there would be no room for Taira to intervene. I'm sorry, but that's impossible. The real culprit who fatally struck Tomori and ended her life probably didn't splatter a single drop of blood on their body. Yes, because the real culprit probably used that tool right before stabbing Tomori to prevent blood from splattering. That tool is... Oh, actually, I did write... Okay. I did write notes on this. The cloth. We're getting close to the end here, according to my notes. We only got 4 more things. We got a non-stop debate, a multiple choice, a rebuttal showdown, and then a panic talk action. And then I have to do the whole summary at the end. Actually, there was a piece of cloth covered in blood lying in the corner of the switch room. Covered in blood. That's right. Anyone who planned the murder would definitely be worried about the blood splattering. The real culprit probably stabbed Tomori after writing this. Stabbed Tomori without getting a single drop of blood on their body. If the real culprit used that to murder Tomori, there's no reason for there to be bloodstains at the entrance. So what? You read that Akane stabbed Tomori? Even I can't believe it. Why would Taira do that? No matter what you did, Taira, there must be someone other than you who directly killed Tomori. You yourself will not be treated as a real criminal under the rules of this trial, so even if you admit the crime, you will not be executed. But Kinju will not like you, but that's Kinjo. Tell me, did you really do that, and why? I'm sorry. So is it really true? You guys are right. Story time. I stabbed Kizuna-chan. What? I don't particularly sympathize with you, but I'm a little curious. Why'd you do that? Kizuna-chan. Tomori Kizuna. It's because there's a human being who had no choice but to do that. What are you talking about? The person who defended Tomori the most was you yourself. I was wrong. I'm sorry. I was just making an excuse because I was scared that I would be caught for stabbing her. Seems like you actually believed that you were the real culprit. But believe me this much, I never stabbed Kizuna-chan with the intention of murder. What are you talking about? You didn't stab Tomori again with murderous intent after making a derogatory remark? That's probably not a good translation. I'll tell you what happened. I'll explain. I don't know about Mekaru, and Yuhara, whatever these guys are, but the day after the motive came out, we were sent to persuade Kizuna-chan. Oh, Mekaru and Yuhara don't know, but the day after the motive came out, we went to persuade Kizuna-chan. Actually, Kizuna-chan was also suffering from loneliness, and I knew that, so I tried to persuade her. Kizuna-chan finally opened up to me, and I thought we had finally become friends, and I hugged her. But that evening, Kazuna-chan called me to the switch room, saying she had something to talk about with me alone. I took a flashlight and went to the switch room. From Tyra. Okay. Kazuna-chan. You're here. Tyra. Yeah, I'm here, Tyra. Kazuna-chan, you said you had something to talk about, but why in such a dark place? Yes, so that no one will come. Who? I won't bother with this. Are you not something or other? So what is there to talk about? It's this. I'm so scared right now. Why are you scared? Monokuma. Do you know the motive that Monokuma shared? It has our secrets written on it. You kids seem to have thrown it away at the time. Someone threw it away. Okay, seemed to throw it away. I don't know who threw it away. But I went to pick up someone's secret note in the trash can. Please look at the contents. What is this? Yuki Maeda may actually know the identity of the mastermind. Which for some reason Google Translate translates to the dark side. Yuki Maeda may actually know the identity of the dark side. Dark side. It's really hard to say because you need to make it very airy without losing the power. Dark side. Side. Wait. What are you saying? Maeda, is that true? No, it's my first time hearing this. Is it not a lie? The truth is, you know everything about the mastermind and are playing with us? Now stop, this is not the time to criticize each other. Yes, the contents of the note is surprising, but hearing Tyra's testimony is the most important thing right now. Tyra, will you continue talking? Yes. I can't trust Yuki-kun after seeing something like that. Not only that, they may know the mastermind and play with us and later try to kill us. Maeda-kun won't do that. You can't just tell. You just can't tell by looking at the outside of people. Wasn't Mitsuhiro-kun like that too? No, he was kind of bad on the outside. So, what should we do? If I tell the other kids about it? No, there's no need to do that. Then we'll just kill them. With our own hands. What? The reason I called you here is actually you're quite close with Yuki-kun. But I think you could, don't you think you could lure him? Or lure him here? Do you know what you're talking about? Listen to me, I have an idea. If you'll help me, there's a way to kill Yuki-kun without anyone finding out. Well, they'll notice he's missing. First of all, I brought the preparations. A fire lighter, the weapon is a kitchen knife. Once you lure Yuki-kun and call him somewhere, probably here, I will stab him with the kitchen knife. That's not what I'm saying. I asked if you were serious. If you commit a murder, you will die in court. I'm talking about when I was... I'm talking about foolishly getting caught. Did you you forget that the only way to get out of here is to kill? So first of all, you help me. If my murder is successful, I will help you with your murder too. Let's get out of here together. Does it really work if one person commits a murder and then before their trial another person commits a murder? Can you do that with like, is a loophole to get like two people out at the same time? No, I always like thought this made no sense. But again, it's like, it kind of makes sense for someone who's trying to pull a scheme like this to say something that makes no sense. It's kind of like, surely God didn't say you couldn't eat from any of the trees in the garden, did he? You know what I mean? Tyra, that's crazy. Why would I commit a murder? What? Don't you want to leave here? Okay, I want to leave, but I don't want to do it at the expense of another person. Are you not the person who wants to go outside more than anyone else here? Basically. I'm definitely not a human being or rotting in a place like this or something like that. A bright future is awaiting me. Why do I have to I guess, tremble in a place like this, not knowing when I might die? So you're gonna trust the very people who you're afraid of to let you out. Okay. I've actually prepared everything 2 days after the last class trial. I also brought these tools early that morning. Wouldn't it feel less guilty to kill a bad guy like Yuki? Think carefully. If you join me, you can get out. Come to the dark side. Join me. What are you talking about? You've been preparing for murder since the second day? You didn't really open up to us? Ha. You stupid bitch. Of course it was just an act to catch you off guard. To think you'd fall for such a cringeworthy event? That's impossible. So, just do as I tell you. Know that you are extremely lucky that I chose you. First, bring Yuki in here by tomorrow morning. I hate that. Hate. Why do I have to help with murder? I can't believe that Maeda-kun is that kind of person. It's clearly a lie from Monokuma. Anyway, I have no intention of helping you. And Kazuna-chan, please come to your senses and don't commit murder. If you are with us, you will definitely something or other. I knew it, or something like that. What? I didn't expect you to cooperate with this murder from the beginning. I might have to change my target, as planned. What do you mean? Kizuna-chan? I missed. Why are you doing this, Kizuna-chan? You don't know? I'm trying to kill you. Kizuna-chan! You already know that I'm trying to kill you. You already know what I'm trying to kill someone. So I can't let you live. It's a shame I can't kill Yuki. But as long as I can get out of here, it doesn't matter. I mean, she could have just called Yuki to the switch room in the first place, and he would have come by the way. Is that true? Tamori tried to kill Akane first? Moreover, she decided to commit murder even before the motive was revealed, and she showed us that it was all an act. Yes, Tamori Kizuna was actually that kind of person. So you felt your life was in danger and to attack Tamori in self-defense. No, that's not it. Listen, I really didn't mean to stab Tamori in self-defense or anything. Then what or why? Tamori rushed to kill you. What happened after that? After realizing that Kizuna-chan was serious, I was so scared that I was busy running away. What? Then Kizuna-chan pushed me, but for some reason didn't stab me in the back, just pushed me. And I fell, conveniently, and I tried to resist somehow, but the flashlights we were both holding ended up breaking. That was the identities of the broken flashlights in the switch room. There was no flashlight, so I couldn't see anything. Kizuna-chan was right next to me with the kitchen knife. I was in a trance, I guess, and was resisting with my whole body. I think it was pure luck that I didn't get stabbed. But at some point, Kizuna-chan suddenly became quiet, and at this time, I ran out of the switch room. You ran out? So you stabbed Kizuna, while you're resisting without realizing it. When I looked at my hands in the bright light, there were a lot of blood on them, and what was red was splattered on my clothes. I panicked, so I got out of the power room and ran to the bathroom without looking back to wipe away the blood. Something like that happened. As I was wiping with water until the smell of blood went away, a broadcast came on saying a body had been discovered. My mind was blank at the thought that Kizuna-chan that I killed was found. But then when I went to the switch room, there was a fire and the switch room was a mess. There was someone other than yourself who had a hand in the scene. So you thought in the end that you were the one who killed her? No, that's not true. Something like that happened. That's how the events are connected. For now, this is all I know about the case. I absolutely did not stab Kizuna-chan with malicious intent. I don't care. No matter circumstances or reason whatever. As if you look at the results, it means that Taira Akane stabbed Tamori Kizuna. This is a fact that cannot be changed no matter what reason you give. I will judge you by whatever will give you the greatest condemnation, be it your intentions or the results. But I said the culprit wasn't me. Yeah, like you said, you just stabbed. There's a separate culprit who started the fire and caused the final blow. So if this trial is resolved successfully, it will be the real culprit, not you, who will be executed. And I will still hate you. So I will ask about your charges separately after the trial is over. What? Don't think you'll get away with it. Wait a minute, it was an accident. Besides, if Tamori hadn't been stabbed at that time, Taira would have died. That's right. Don't be like that. It was this really long word. Taira herself will suffer more than anyone else. I'm sorry. Let us not forget the fact that it was a... What's a force majeure? I don't know, whatever. The trial isn't over yet. Now that we know the circumstances, we have to find out the real culprit. Let's talk about this later, because the trial is the most important. Akane, don't blame yourself too much. Anyway, you survived, so it's okay. I think it's fortunate that Akane survived more than anything. Isn't being alive important? Ayame-chan. Thank you. It'd be better if more people were alive. Well, then let's summarize the incident based on Taira's words. Tomori had been trying to kill since a few days ago, and in order to kill, she called Taira into the switch room to persuade her. Rather, she died. This is the whole story. If you stay still, you'll get even more crazy. Oh. More like... Basically, Yamaguchi's getting more crazy. Let's take it step by step. First of all, there are 3 people involved in the incident. One is the victim, Tomori Kizuna. The other culprit is yet to be revealed. The culprit is yet to be revealed. The other one is Taira Akane. Tomori, who wanted to get out of here as quickly as possible, planned murder, even before the motive was revealed. The motive was just an excuse for Tomori, and she targeted Taira to find a helper. Tomori tried to lure Taira because she thought things would be easier if someone cooperated, but as expected, Taira refused. And she tried to get rid of Taira, who had heard her plan. However, the attacks continued to miss, and Tomori was stabbed by her own knife in the tangle. Taira. Was surprised and stabbed her. Was surprised that she stabbed her and ran to the bathroom. However, after hearing the broadcast the body had been found, Taira went back to the power room and found that things like a fire had occurred that she had not caused, and she was confused. So in the end, Taira got the talent and the other criminal got the money? What? That's right. The case was... Oh, okay, I kind of get it, right? Taira did the job. The culprit could reap the reward, potentially. That's right. The case was so complicated because 3 people were involved. But no matter what happens up to this point, Taira is not the culprit in the end. Still, who is the real culprit? The real criminal is... Uranami, what's wrong? Did you find out something? I was surprised to see Kurokawa actively participating in the conversation just now. I told you to be serious. She's a clown. In fact, there's already a hint about the real culprit. What is that? Or who is it? Well, who is it? Oh, you mean you're referring to the protagonist, is that so? If you think about it normally, there is no one other than Taira who has a clear alibi, and on the contrary, it's possible for anyone to have committed the crime. There is one person among us who turns every situation to their advantage. Yes, very accurately. Who on earth would that person be? First of all, you sure it's not Taira? Am I the only one who knows? Just by looking at it, there is someone who took advantage at the incident with ridiculous timing, so there is no point in just dismissing it as coincidence. Think about it carefully. Taira didn't start the fire. It had always been burning since the world's been turning. And the real culprit must have started the fire. Oh, never mind. But I don't think it's quite careless, so I let the fire go and the dead body burn up. I don't know what. I don't know what that meant. But didn't Hatano actually discover it? Yes, Atano discovered it. Well, that's it though. The wire too. Even if you set up a wire trap using a burnt-out flashlight in the corner as bait, there's a chance it'll end up with anyone finding it. But that actually also... There's nothing strange about... Is there something strange about it? If you think about what about sighting of the fire and the sighting of the wire have in common, you'll find the answer. Man, it was really obvious. A person who turns every situation to his or her own advantage. A person who led the criminal who would lead us to resolve the case in a favorable manner. There's only one person who is suspicious. I have a strong feeling that she instigated most of this incident. The first sighting of the fire and the wire gun. The wire trap. Obviously her behavior is suspicious, but... No, let's stop thinking about why. What matters is that she did it. Okay. Because if we don't find out, we'll all die. Make a check mark here at cloth. As Kinjo said, there is only one criminal. There is someone who was able to turn the situation to their advantage. Oh, there's one criminal. That's Atano. What? What? Maeda. Probably like, are you serious? But for some reason Google Translate says, did you drink the medicine? Isn't the culprit the one who hurt Atano's leg? But how is Atano the culprit? It's ridiculous to say that she was targeting her own leg. It would be more believable to say that I am the culprit. That's actually true. Maeda-kun, don't play around. Anyway, Yame-chan... If Yame-chan's the culprit... Wait. That's right, Kinjo, too. Don't just still and say something. Maeda seems to be mistaken. No! That incompetent person made a very accurate... Did that incompetent person make a very accurate deduction? Or conclusion? Induction? The culprit must be Atano Hayami. I'm not taking anyone's side, but I don't understand either. Can you explain why you think that way? In fact, excluding a few reasons why Atano was suspicious, it is not strange to say that the real culprit in this incident is any of us. Because the trigger for the incident was pulled by Taira, and the culprit was nothing more than a light peacock. What? The alibis are unknown, and there is no contradiction no matter who is assigned as the culprit. But what makes Atano's behavior even more unnatural? What do you mean? That makes Atano's behavior even more unnatural. The criminal created an alibi by finishing off Tomori, who Taira was unable to kill, and starting a fire. Everyone will understand by now, they would need one. Then here. Who's the first to discover the fire? That's right. Atano? There's no way she's the culprit because of that. Shut up, you indirect killer! That's not all. And even after the body was found, the criminal set up a wire trap as if it was targeting someone. And you probably know who first discovered this. That too was Atano. Yes, you've been over this. Think about it. If you make an alibitric and start a fire, but someone else discovers it first, too many dangerous variables will be created. But if you are the one who started the fire, you can create the best situation you want. Does that refer to a situation where the criminal herself is putting out the fire along with the other people? That's right, because the original purpose of the culprit starting the fire was to break the glass with heat and make people think that someone escaped. In that situation, if the criminal was with other people, the criminal would have an alibi. If it was such a crappy trick that I didn't even suspect it from the beginning. Ray being like self-reporting, so amateurish. And if it were Hatano, there would have been plenty of time to install the wire. If you listen to Taira's story, Tomori brought all the tools. So all you'd have to do is take the tools from the dead Tomori's arms and reuse them. But Ayame-chan... Well, there must be some misunderstanding. That's right, it couldn't be a coincidence. Hatano being the culprit. Why is the person who was singled out keeping their mouth shut? But the other people are making noise. Hey, party member, why are you so quiet and silent? That's so absurd I'm speechless. If I stay quiet, will I be treated as a criminal? I mean, isn't that funny? There's no way you're the culprit, Ayame-chan. Is there anything to argue about? Of course, I don't think you guys have realized it yet. I'll tell you the clear reason why I can't be the criminal. Okay, it's non-stop. Inori's autopsy. Okay, it's the first bullet, right? Second to last one. Okay, what was the long one? Tomori Samongsigak. Tomori ga pure mongsi. Oh, Tomori. Talking about Tomori's loss of blood, I think. 9:30. Talking about the time of death. Okay, getting ready here. Blast. Hatano, is it really true? What? Hatano's opinion on this. Since the time of death was at the 9:30. The killer said, are you saying that that's when the killer stabbed them? Since isn't it natural that Tomori's cause of death would have been a stab wound to the neck and instant death at the moment of the stab wound? That's not the case. What? Her heart just kept beating him, gushing blood out. Putting everything else aside, even if you think that Atano's words are true, the criminal was no longer in the switch room at the time. Layla is right, it has to be that way. This is the problem that was solved earlier. From the moment the fire started, Tomori must have already been stabbed. Yes, otherwise the alibi about breaking the window remotely would be meaningless. But then what happened to the time of Tomori's death? No matter how much I think of it, it doesn't make sense that Tomori died at 9:30. Everyone listen carefully. From here on, there's a bit of this has been a bit of speculation. Tomori may have already had the kitchen knife stabbed in her neck before Hatano discovered the fire. What? Grotesque. Are you really forcing yourself to think and speak? Whatever made I don't understand this. It said that a human being cannot survive with their throat pierced. Even for me, I really can't believe it, but I'm not saying this for no reason. There is evidence that Tomori survived that long. It's thanks to Inori that I first came up with the idea. That? Remember what Inori, you told me after the autopsy on Tomori's body? What should I say? It's a really terrible amount of bleeding. Humans die from excessive bleeding. The amount of blood, about 1/3 of their blood flows out. But this is not that amount. It's much more than 1/3. It's surprising that level of blood came out. The wound in the neck is obviously fatal, but it would have coagulated to some extent, and the amount of bleeding should gradually decrease after the heart stops. That means you mean there's like a massive amount of bleeding? I can't confirm this with my own opinion, although it is rare. The higher the blood pressure, the greater the amount of bleeding. In short, there are individual differences. Anyway, this much bleeding means it took quite a while for her to die. Thanks to Tomori may have died while feeling truly terrible pain. Think about it. If Tomori had died from being stabbed in the neck with a kitchen knife at around 9:30, the blood wouldn't have spread that far when we found her. Of course, there was still a little blood oozing out when we found her, but most of it had started to harden, and it would be unnatural to say that such a deep pool of blood had been oozing out for just a few minutes. Though, what's the point? You may have forgotten, but Tomori's wounds aren't just the neck. There is the blood oozing from her stomach. Of course, there is a possibility. There's also evidence that she was alive for a long time after being stabbed in the neck. Tomori had died from a single blow as soon as her throat was pierced. There's a mark there that shouldn't have been there. Tomori made this mark because she knew who the real culprit, other than Tyra, who killed her. And this one should be the dying message modification. Only 2 more things. A rebuttal showdown and a panic talk action. We're getting close! The real reason for the dying message. Dying message. That story wasn't over before, or the dying message wasn't completed before. I'm referring to not the maid, or the maid. That's true, but now that I come back and looked again, I've seen something I couldn't see before. There was a big thing next to the maid, or after the maid. It would be correct to say that it was not the maid, as we guessed. Or maybe there's a big X, that is. Now that I think about it, I thought it was written by Tomori or by Tyra as an original play. Or by Tyra originally. As I said before, I went straight to the bathroom when I saw the blood. I didn't have time to think about that. Yes, it's probably not Tyra. I guess Tomori wrote the word maid with her own blood to somehow let us know that Tyra stabbed her right before she died. Then why did they put the big X there? If there is a reason to write that the victim is not the maid, and it is, basically to write that the victim was not the maid. I see. But instead of crossing it out, she decided to write an X afterward, just to make it confusing. Did she herself correct the dying message that she wrote as maid because there was another person who stabbed her in the neck while lying down after being stabbed by Tyra? I guess so. If Tomori had died immediately after being stabbed in the neck, she would have lost all strength and collapsed on the spot, regardless, and wouldn't be able to modify the dying message. But even after being stabbed in the neck, she held on to life with indomitable will and used her last of her strength to correct the dying message. I don't even know how Tomori survived after getting her throat stabbed. But the things I just said prove that Tomori was still alive. Therefore, even if the time of Tomori's death was an hour and 1 minute, or it was 9:30, the numbers don't get extracted. It was 9:30. It does not serve as any evidence that Hatano could not have committed the crime. Ayame-chan. No. She was stabbed in the neck and survived. Is that a ridiculous story? Ayame-chan, say something! It may be hard to believe, but humans are creatures that sometimes achieve phenomena that goes beyond common sense. It happens sometimes even as terrorist scenes, so it's nothing strange. Well then, or what then? Is Hatano truly the culprit? I don't know why Hatano did what she did. Really happy if I was wrong, but the more I think about Hatano being the culprit, the more it becomes true. Let's hear it from Hatano's mouth. The truth. Okay, use Hatano's injury very early on in this one, okay? Wait a minute, I can't accept that Hatano is the culprit. And Nori, I know it's hard to believe, but I also can't believe it. But looking at Hatano's actions, I can't say anything other than it being very suspicious. Award? She can't be it. There's a reason why she can't be it. Let me tell you why Hatano's not the culprit. Okay, Hatano's injury. Okay, it's the third one. Fui. How do I change the truth bullet? I forgot how to change the truth bullet. Oh, there we go. There's Hatano's injury. Fui. I goofed. You gotta hit the first one. He's always giving me the worst trouble in Korean. And English too. You have to cycle over again. Okay. How do I... That's the wrong one, I guess. Oh, there's the... Shucks. I'm gonna lose all my health and die. I said that I was supposed to contradict was like in the early, the first section, not the second section. So I have to wrap around. Okay. So it's not this one. Let's try this one. Yeah, okay. I should have been more specific, but I didn't actually catch it very specifically. Yeah, I flipped that one. At least I didn't die. I didn't get a game over. I'm sorry, but there's further evidence that Hatano was the culprit. Inori's argument was that there was clearly no way the criminal would target themselves. Isn't that natural? When you're trying to commit suicide and there's no way you target yourself. Oh. If you're not trying to commit suicide, there's no way you target yourself. It was not calculated to induce such thoughts. Huh? What are you talking about, Maeda-kun? The criminal would never hurt themselves. What if it was staged to deliberately bring out that thought? Otherwise, there would be no benefit for the criminal to install the wire. Like, why else would they do this? Any of this? If you kill someone in the first place and finish the cleanup, then installing a wire to target someone will only increase the suspicion and will not benefit you as the criminal. Is there a possibility that there is a reason why it had to be like that? That's right, it's definitely true. It's just that reason that Ayame-chan is the culprit. Is it just that reason that Ayame-chan is the culprit? That's not all. Even if the criminal had some reason and installed the wire to target someone, how exactly are they going to cut the leg tendons? Our stride length and calf sizes are all different. That's... The purpose may not have been to cut the tendon. Ayame-chan was unlucky and suffered a serious injury. Maybe they just wanted to hurt the leg somewhere. If they were going to do that, they wouldn't have installed a wire. Huh? There's no use to use a wire at great risk. Well, if they were targeting for Ayame-chan from the beginning, so they installed a wire exact location of Ayame-chan's tendon. How do you know that? It is difficult to know the location of one's tendon without professional knowledge. So they install it while calculating the risk. Well, they install it without calculating the risk of someone else tripping over the trap or whatever. Among us, there's only one other than one who has that level of knowledge, other than Inori. Other than that would be a Tano who knows her own legs. And the muscles of track and field athletes better than anyone else. That's not possible. Onori. Hatano never got caught in the trap because of bad luck. She was able to create such a perfect tendon severing accident only because she was caught in the trap that she herself had set up. Pretty good. Is that true? Why on earth, Hatano? That's... Even though I was an inexperienced person, I saw Hatano's wounds and couldn't believe it. Or experienced, instead of inexperienced. The fact that she created such a malicious wound to herself. Ayame-chan, there's no way you do that. I agree that I would rather be the culprit, even if I get executed. I can't believe it either. I wish it was all a lie. I wish it was all a dream. I wish my reasoning was all messed up and wrong. Is this how it is resolved? If you look at it that way, but overall I have the same opinion as Maeda. I want to at least hear a confession from the person herself. I need to make it clear. Or I need it made clear. Well, it's already too late to object to anything. Hatano Ayame. Can I see the fact that I have been keeping your mouth shut since a while ago is affirmation through silence? Wait a minute, Ayame-chan, I said... No. In the end, I'm the one who stabbed Tomori. I'll be executed. I'd rather do it. Ayame-chan is innocent. You don't control the rules, Akane. Monokuma does. There's no need for Akane to be executed. And of course, me too. Ayame-chan. I'm going to give a last-ditch effort. Struggle. I will survive and get out of here with Akane. That's all. I don't think that nonsense will work, because that's not how the rules of the game work. That's always annoying, so annoying when they try to make up stuff they think they can do. If I'm the culprit, I haven't given in yet. Isn't it truly winning a trial by convincing the criminal to admit defeat? You trivial. What should I do? There is no one... Is there no one who knows any evidence that would satisfy the criminal who says such things? You don't mind if I tell you, but it would be fun if I did that. What's the reason? It's a trial, so you have to be serious. So just tell us. I'm over it anyway. So I guess I'll just have some fun and look around. Or it's over anyway. But there's already no mystery to solve, so what more can we do? Even if you say that Ayame-chan's words are based on an assumption, Ayame-chan is not the culprit. What? But it's difficult. You is remarkably useless for being a lawyer. Okay, then let me reorganize the case from the beginning. Then you might notice something left out. Where are we going? You're still crazy, I'm sorry. It seems like there is still some conclusive evidence left to convince Atano. Atano was convinced by saying that. If I understand, how would I react? Atano was the culprit. Should we just accept it like that? But I can't help but feel strange coming all the way here. First of all, what should we do with Hatano's unreasonable argument? And then show the evidence. Oh, but show evidence. Well, I don't know. No, skip the tutorial. I didn't read that right. My keyboard just dropped out. And hoping that it came back. Oh, it's the enter key, okay. Oh. Oh, this one's hard. They just game over that. I want to overcome oh dear. Okay, does the reload work? Does my shift key on the right side of my screen work here? This is like nasty. Oh. Okay. Okay. Come on, come on, come on. Oh! I didn't know the order. It's a Korean sentence, it's weird order. Get out of here. Okay, I'm in the clear now. I can't lose. There's no more things in the trial that can mess me up. Well, that was skin through that. Okay. Hey, there's something I'd like to ask Inori to make sure. Yes. I'm sure Atano said where the injury was. Thighs. More precisely, the hamstring damage. Laceration to the left thigh. Hey Maeda, what do you mean? You suddenly stopped dealing with me and given up? The hamstring refers to an important muscle on moving the legs. What is the location of this muscle? Roughly speaking, there are 3 places that connect the hips and the knees, and a place near the knee joint. And to put it simply, it's a muscle widely distributed on the back of the thigh. But what does that explanation mean now? Don't start talking about things that aren't important, Maeda-kun. Well, since Ayame-chan is innocent, there is no room for the refutation. No, it is important. It's very important. Inori's words contain a divisive clue that Atano was the culprit. What? Everyone's heard what Inori said. The area where Atano was injured was a muscle on the back of the left thigh. Yeah, in the back. Why did Atano hurt the back of her thigh while moving forward to pick up a flashlight? She didn't want to get that patella. Oh really? I didn't think it was suspicious because I was only concerned about Atano being injured. Come to think about it, it's strange that you trip and fall forward and then get hurt in the back. There is a saying that if you fall backwards, you will break your nose, but that doesn't matter now. I can't think of any other reason than that. From the beginning, Atano was deliberately caught in a trap in order to inflict as many fatal wounds as possible on herself, or the worst wound on herself. Oh gosh, then. You're saying it was all an original play, is it true? I don't know why she did it that way, but it may have been to pretend to be a victim and lessen suspicion. It's a pretty cliche case, even among real criminals. It's not like that. There's got to be some misunderstanding. Atano-chan? I wish it was a lie too. Why have to come to this conclusion? Well, let's tell us now. We wasted so much time, and I got sick of Taira, Tamori, Kazuna's cockroach-like vitality, and other factors. Well, it looks like it's really over now. Anya, no. There's something wrong. Yaoi-chan can't have done that. Yaoi-chan is definitely not the culprit. Person who accused of being a criminal, stay still. Why are you making such a fuss? You just stay still. Taira, it's really hard to accept, but we must accept the conclusions we draw, or nothing will end and nothing will begin. Well then, let's finally summarize the incident, so that everyone can understand the answer we came up with, so that everyone can choose. Okay. So I forgot. Oh, okay. I theoretically could mess this up and lose health. So I theoretically should be careful. Stab. And it's the cloth, right? Yes. Fuse. Although, in the original Trigger Happy Havoc, unless you get it wrong, it wouldn't tell you until you try to do the summary that you messed up. The incident began late at night on the second day after the first class trial was over and the upper floors were opened. At the time there was someone who stopped by an antique shop with specific purpose. The person picked up a few tools in the antique store. The tools at the time were a fuse, a lighter, a flashlight, etc. Surprisingly, the DNA of this person was Tomori, who was also a victim in this incident. He's also the victim in this incident. I only found out now that Tomori had been plotting murder ever since, even before the motive was shared. The tools taken earlier were all tools that Tomori had procured in advance to use for murder. As a result, she died, and the real culprit of this incident ended up using the tools that she had prepared. In the morning of the third day, Otori, who would always stop by the antique shop, must have already noticed that several items were missing. But then didn't tell us because he thought that it was a misunderstanding and created confusion for no reason. Well, that's harsh. And he didn't want to create confusion for no reason. That's what would probably make more sense. Tomori's murder plan was slowly progressing under the water, whatever, in the background, without anyone knowing. In the meantime, Monokuma shared the motive with us. As everyone knows, this message was a note with our secret written on it, but it seemed like a joke, so no one paid any attention to it. But Tomori was different. Tomori thought that she could use the note, so she decided to add one more step to her original plan. It was a plan to lure Taira using Yuki Maeda's secret note. Tomori told Taira to come to the switch room alone, and Taira headed to the switch room without any hesitation. Taira may seem a little frivolous, but it's actually not unreasonable. Tomori expected this to happen, and from the second day onward, she acted weak to ease our guard. The way she seemed lonely, the way she hesitated, even the way she accepted us without shedding tears, while shedding tears. It was all lay work to make the murder even a little smoother. That's the nature of Tomori Kizuna. We were completely fooled by Tomori. Taira wasn't wary of Tomori at the time at all, so she quickly went to the switch room. There, Tomori showed Taira's secret note and revealed her plan to kill me. Otori said that she picked up a secret note in the trash can, and someone had thrown away, and it said this: Yuki Maeda might actually know the identity of the mastermind. Of course, this isn't true. I don't know the identity of the mastermind. But Tomori tried to use that as an excuse to persuade Taira that she needed Taira's help to kill me. But Taira did not follow Tomori's words, saying that no matter what happens, she would not commit murder. Sounds like a fart, that sound effect. As things didn't go as planned, Tomori began to show her true nature more and more. Once Taira refused, she couldn't just leave Taira like this after hearing about her murder plan. So Tomori changed her target. Tomori, who expected Taira to some extent to reject her, decided to kill Taira right in front of her, or right then and there. Tomori rushed at Taira without warning, but luckily Taira avoided the first blow. Tomori suddenly attacked, sent Taira into a state of panic. Taira tried to run away, but was pushed by Tomori and fell. Taira strongly resisted Tomori, who was swinging a kitchen knife right in front of her. The process, the flashlights that Taira and Tomori had were broken due to the struggle in the switch room, which once they had lost the light, they were enveloped in darkness. Several violence occurred, but at some point the physical fight suddenly ended. Taira didn't know why Tomori became quiet, but feeling that her life was in danger, Taira decided to leave the switch room at that point. First thing Taira noticed as she hurriedly ran out of the switch room was the intense color of fresh blood, which she was able to see when she came into the bright place. Taira saw a lot of blood on her body. Of course, it wasn't her blood. She intuitively realized that she had unknowingly stabbed Tomori during the fight. Taira's mind went blank with shock and fear, so she cleaned up and headed to the bathroom. I felt like she went to wash the blood away as quickly as possible. But the culprit probably found Taira like this. And it's unknown whether they saw Taira in person, but in all likelihood, they must have discovered Tomori a short time period after Taira left the power room. If someone other than the culprit of the incident had found Tomori, they might have been able to save Tomori by calling Inori or something. But the culprit, in this case, didn't think like that. Somehow, the culprit who noticed a strange feeling in the switch room must have found Tomori in a moribund state inside, having been stabbed by Taira. Tomori was stabbed herself while trying to target Taira, but she did not die immediately. The evidence for this can be found in the message that she wrote. Tomori realized that she would die if things continued like this, wrote on the floor with her blood to reveal the identity of the criminal who stabbed her. I mean to refer to Taira, a maid, a super high school level maid. Up until this point, the thought that had crossed the mind of the culprit was never one of telling everyone and saving Tomori. The idea was that she would take the blame for what Taira had done and kill Tomori. For the criminal committed a terrible act that is hard to believe was human. In order to deliver the final blow, they first pulled out the kitchen knife stuck in Tomori's stomach. It's cruel enough at this point, but aimed the drawn kitchen knife at Tomori once again. And put it back in her neck. During this process, blood would have flowed out like a fountain, but the criminal covered the blood with a cloth large enough to cover one person in the switch room to prevent blood from splattering on their body. In contrast to Taira, who unintentionally stabbed Tomori, you can see that this was meticulously planned. Maybe not meticulously, just planned. Just like that, Tomori lost all her strength. Tomori, of course, thought about murder and even tried to kill Taira, but still, did she have to die that cruelly? Anyway, the criminal who succeeded in inflicting a fatal wound on Tomori now begins to work behind the scenes. The criminal first installed the fuse in Tomori's took the fuse from Tomori's arms and installed it on the walls of the switch room. I don't know what Tomori originally intended to use them for, but the criminal used the same tools Tomori brought with her. In their case, Tomori was the one who prepared the tools, so the culprit themselves would not be suspected. In fact, we had a rather difficult discussion about how the tools were brought. The fuse was installed mainly around the window to avoid burning the equipment as much as possible, and then ignited with the lighter. The lighter was also an item brought by Tomori, and the reason for starting the fire was that the glass was made to break automatically when the temperature inside the switch room became hot after a certain period of time using the temperature difference between indoors and outdoors. If the criminal hears the sound of window breaking while there with the other kids, they'll have a perfect alibi as long as they think that someone in the switch room broke the glass. This was possible because the switch room's unique structure and the fact that the glass windows were old. But its trick was not that, but what? If the fire was discovered when no one noticed it or the culprit was not there, it was all a vain trick. So the criminal had put it in their plan into action faster than anyone else. After finishing installing the fuse, the criminal cleaned up the place and announced the fire loudly as if they had discovered the fire. Several people who heard this gathered in front of the switch room as the criminal intended. At this time, the person who heard the criminal's cries was Kinjo. The people who heard the criminal's cries were Kinjo, Mekaru, and Yuhara. At this point, the three people who do not yet know that a murder had occurred decided to go out, put out the fire out first, without even dreaming that they were with the criminal. Four people, including the culprit, brought a fire extinguisher from the hallway and began to quickly extinguish the fire. Even though that was the best situation the criminal was aiming for, I didn't even think about it. Or they didn't even think about it. But even then, something happened that neither we nor the criminal would have imagined. Tomori, whose throat must have been pierced with a kitchen knife, was still alive at that time. If you think about it normally, it's strange enough to be a contradiction, but for some reason Tomori held on by a thin line of life. And Tomori used the last of her strength and edited the dying message that said that it was the maid, with writing a big X next to it. In other words, let us know that it was not the maid. They may have wanted to write the name of the criminal, but it was amazing that she wrote it while her throat was stabbed. After editing the dying message, Tomori's life ended. Because the heart was still beating at the time, the amount of blood loss was more than twice that of a normal person, and thanks to that we were able to prove that Tomori was still alive. Or the time that she was stabbed was much earlier than you thought, based on the time of death. Of course, the fact that that fact would have been fatal for the criminal as well. Originally, I should have suspected Tyra just by looking at the post about being a maid, or the post about being a maid. But it also says ramen. It's like the post about being a ramen maid. But I got caught up in it for no reason, and all my elaborate plans went to waste, huh? Oh. Although Tomori tried to commit murder and committed unforgivable acts, in the end she tried to use all her strength to give us the right answer. Or at least not the wrong answer. The situation returns to the power room again. When I turned off the light, the situation was almost settled. They suddenly heard the sound of breaking glass inside the switch room. This was done according to the best conditions the criminal intended. Thanks to this, everyone thought that someone was in the switch room, had broken the glass, and the culprit had taken off. As everything was planned, the criminal who was at the scene at the time probably smiled in remorse. He smiled in glee. It would have been perfect if it weren't for the variable called Tomori. In order to confirm the identity of the sound, the three of them, except Yuhara, who went to watch the entrance, entered the switch room. There, they saw Tomori's body. At this point, the body discovery announcement sounded. In other words, the other kids who heard the body discovery broadcast arrived one by one, and everyone gathered in the power room. Tyra, who was the third position at the time, third student to come at the time, was probably the most surprised, because she did not know of the existence of the culprit. She thought she was the culprit. Even so, the fire incident was something that not even Tyra herself knew about. As we received the Monokuma file and began investigating, the culprit began their final act. First, the criminal left the third flashlight to be used on the floor. The flashlight was also caught in the fire, so it was reduced to a lump of charcoal. The reason why such an eye-catching object was thrown to the floor was to create a certain situation. The criminal installed a sharp wire in the path leading to the flashlight, and voluntarily walked over to pick it up, talking as if they had found a flashlight. Yes, even though they knew there was a sharp wire installed. The culprit deliberately cut their leg by getting caught in the trap, and that was done with exquisite aim to cut the posterior tendon. And it never occurred to me at the time that the criminal would cripple their own leg. It was the culprit's intention to make you think that way. The killer's one mistake here is that even though they were walking forward, they cut their posterior tendon. But at the time, I didn't even think about it because someone was injured. The criminal's goal may have been to get out of here, but the criminals showed their meticulousness even by throwing away one of their legs. Thanks to that, we almost got caught. I thought... Okay, Google Translate says, I thought I was going to cut off my own leg, but it's probably like I got caught up in, why would the culprit cut off their own leg? The criminal must have been laughing inside, laughing at us. In this case, 3 people are involved, including the criminal, Tomori, and Tyra. And most of the suspicion went to Tyra, so the identity of the criminal was ambiguous. However, after combining Tyra's own statements with various circumstances, we were able to uncover the identity of the culprit. The criminal tried to hide their identity even by throwing away their leg. The criminal who did such a terrible thing to Tomori. The identity of the criminal was smiling in glee as they watched our actions unfold. Was... No, it was none other than you, Hatano Ayame. What about it, Hatano? Have you anything to argue? If you have anything to argue, do it. Wait. There's something wrong with this. It's not like this. Hey, no, it's all decided. Is it not all decided? I guess that we just have to wait for the end now. No, it's not the end. It can't be like that. If all the circumstances are correct and there is evidence, I can't understand it. Hatano was the culprit who killed Tomori like that? Ne inom Hatano? Damn. Is it over? No, Ayame-chan, please tell me I'm wrong. No. phase 11. Because of my bad rebuttal showdown performance. And also bad panic talk action performance. $74 medals get. Oh, is it over? Oh, well, you guys took so long. I took a nap. No, I never sleep. Teacher Monokuma, I said I never slept. So, if you have any doubts, don't worry. Well, anyway, it's good. I think you guys have all come to your own conclusions. All came to a conclusion, so we can go to voting now. Now, please vote with the switch in front of you. As I said before, we do not recognize invalid votes, so press them carefully. Or probably supposed to be everyone must vote, so make sure to press it. Who will be the result of the vote, and what? Okay.
Who will be chosen as the Blackhead? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? This is surprising, that's right. What is the identity of the ruthless person? Blackened who murdered Miss Tamori Kuzuna so horribly? It was Miss Hatano Ayami. You are correct.
It's correct, we did it. Did we catch the criminal? Why is that the correct answer? Even if we did get it right, I'm not happy about it.
By the way, the vote wasn't unanimous. No matter what, Tyra, voting for yourself is like committing suicide.
Oh, she voted for herself? Who knows how to believe what people like you say? What does that mean? I can't admit it. I can't admit it.
You're gonna get into big trouble, so be careful next time. No matter what you say, money says, there's only one truth. But I don't lie when it comes to class trials.
Is it real? Is Hatano really the culprit?
I guarantee you that you yourself have given the answer that you have come up with after much thought. Denying this is nothing more or less than escaping from reality.
Nothing more, basically. It's a lie. Ayame-chan. Tyra's sobbing was the only sound that echoed through the courtroom. Everyone couldn't even make a sound, because the results of the trial were so tragic. Because Tyra played the role of an accomplice brilliantly, the incident became much more extreme, but it happened late at night, so something or other. Why? Why on earth did you commit murder? Watch your mouth. There's no way it's true that Kobashi Kawakin did something like that. How could Ayame-chan be the culprit? What? We want to believe that too, but let's just do it, Akane. Huh? It's only ugly to struggle more than this. I can't hide it anymore. What does this mean, Ayame-chan? It's crazy that you can't hide it? When you say things like that, it sounds like you're the criminal. I'm sorry. Sorry? What are you apologizing for? Why? I killed Tamori. Eh? That's right, there's no need to announce it again. Because Monokuma acknowledged it. It means it's true. Why did you do that? Do you have to commit a murder by breaking your own leg? Or cutting your own leg? That's right, if the answer that we gave is correct, that means that all of our challenges were incorrect? Or all of your challenges were incorrect? We wanted to end the trial early so that we could treat your leg as soon as possible. If you were the criminal, would that be meaningless? Work in my favor. I don't believe it, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, blah, blah, blah. So in the end, you were a murderer too. It may be surprising, but the word surprising is not used among criminals. Even outside, there are mountains of criminals who commit heinous acts with innocent faces. Why'd you do that? Please answer me. Why on earth would you do that? Isn't it obvious? Because I want to get out of here. What? Well, isn't it obvious? There's no other reason to kill, right? I want to get out of here and enjoy my freedom. I want to go back to my normal daily life. That's why everyone can't help but sympathize. I just chose murder as my means. Huh? What did you just say? I ended up getting caught by the tail. I thought it was perfect because I could use Tyra. No. Hatano. What, is that it in the end? In the end, you just killed the same as Hikawa did? Ultimately, this is what her true nature is like. No one should be judged solely by appearances. You all should probably know that face, well, by now, the face like a murderous devil. I got caught. Is this Satano's true nature? She just wanted to get out of here, that's the only reason? She killed Tomori? Is that really it? Something is not clear. As Kinjo said, you shouldn't judge by appearances. That might be Atano's true appearance, but what is this pain in my heart? I can't open my eyes and see anymore. Let's get this started. Will she be executed? That kind of person, Atano. Damn it, what on earth are we for? What? Who are you? Or whatever. Or who are we? Or I don't know. So I don't understand this stuff. Monokuma, begin. Maya goes, let's wait a minute. Can't I end like this? Is it really okay to send Atano away like this? Well, Maeda, look at her. What's wrong now? No matter what you say, it won't work. It's a pity to be executed. It's such a waste. Hatano, is that really you? Was that the only the kind of person you are? Oh, yes, it's the real me. I thought you wouldn't be able to break my trick, but I guess I underestimated you too much. What are you saying? Stop it, Atano. This is weird. I think I'll go crazy when I see Atano like that. Atano, even if you die now, I really have no regrets. Will you really have no regrets? Are you satisfied with your actions? Of course. Let's start with the execution. The only regret I have is that I didn't get out of here. Lies. What? that you want to get out of here. It's a lie. Well, the Exorcist would know this. You didn't notice how in character this is. What do you know about me? It's not a lie. I killed because I wanted to get out of here, that's all. If you wanted to get out of here. Your legs. You cut them, right? What are you talking about? Tano committed a murder. There's definitely a different reason. There must have been. Mikaru... She acted like a villain, but... Hatano's body is shaking. Are you saying that Hatano was just acting? You acted crazy on purpose? Why'd you really commit the murder? Kirukawa... I guess broke me down. I can't stand up to Kirukawa. Hatano... They're saying that Hatano's appearance returned to its usual state. At that moment, I felt the weight in my heart disappearing. The fact that Hatano was the culprit cannot be changed, but the sense of discomfort before has disappeared. My hands are dirty, and this may sound like an excuse, but I'll tell you my true feelings. The circumstances of the murder are roughly as follows. We're driving down the hallway when the incident occurred. At the time, just as you guessed, I saw Akane running somewhere. I tried to talk to Akane. Who was in a hurry, but I soon realized that Akane's body was covered in blood. With the intention of not saying anything, I went to the power room where Akane came out. I followed the faint scent of blood and realized something had happened in the switch room. I hurriedly took a flashlight and checked the condition inside and found Tomori lying on the ground looking like she was dying, with a kitchen knife stuck in her stomach. Everything is as you said. Then why did you commit the murder there? You could have called other kids to come up with a way to treat Tomori. Because it wasn't a situation. That wasn't the situation. What was the situation? Or that wasn't the situation. If I left what I saw, Tomori was almost dead when I found her. I could tell at Hatano that I could tell she wasn't dead because she was breathing hard, but that was all. She was already in a state of suspended animation. But even so, I guess without saying that you have to commit murder, I was anxious and I was scared. As I said, I was scared that if Tomori died, Akane would become a murderer. What? The time I really wanted to argue with. I really didn't want to. Or whatever. Why did the kind Akane stab Tomori? I learned that it was an accident through the trial, but I had no idea at the time. All I could think of was if things continued like this, Akane would become a blackened. Even it could not have been left alone. If I didn't know, I'd rather not know everything and ignore my friends. What? Just wait a moment, then the reason why Hatano committed the murder is... Ayame-chan. It's because of me to protect me? Instead, you chose to be the blackened? I couldn't just sit back and watch Akane get executed because I pretended not to see it. Or said you did see it and then rat her out. I wanted to call Nori to heal Inori, but while Tomori is gone, when I leave Tomori to call Inori, what if Tomori stopped breathing? Because of my mistaken judgment, Akane was destined to be executed, or for her mistake, I could... That potential mistake, that is. I couldn't do that. Ah. Ah! Then from the beginning, were you... Did you plan on dying instead of Tyra? Then including the cutting of your own tendons? It's to protect Tyra? No, that wouldn't have been part of that. Is this the truth? I just couldn't ignore her friend's crime? Sad tragedy called by friendship? For a while, no one could open the door. Or, in the courtroom, only Tyra's wailing could be heard. Is that really the only reason? Yes. Giving one's life for someone else's sake is commendable, but it's not possible without courage. And in that respect, you deserve recognition. But, if that was purely the intention, there wouldn't have been a need to go to a trial like this. Even if you revealed the truth to everyone except execution, your intentions wouldn't change. Or this, what? But what did you look like during the trial? You seemed quite desperate. That would line up if you just admitted to it right away, but you didn't. If you say anything, Atano, I won't let you go, even if you're a woman. What? Idiot, shut up. Let's get on right now. Now, calm down, Kabashikawa. You're really looking right through me, Mikaru? Or you are. What are you talking about again? Before I first spoke, I didn't tell you... This is going to sound like an excuse. What? But for Kane's sake, this may be nothing more than an excuse. What? Saying what, because this is not translating well. I'll tell you everything, but in fact, I can't say that I had no dark intentions at all. It's okay because it's for Akane somewhere in my heart. In fact, in a corner of my heart, I must have a desire to get out of here. But even with when your leg is ruined like that, this is an apology to you. If you exceed in my array, this is an apology to you if you succeed in escaping. And even if the latter is fine, it's already too late. What? What does that mean? It's Dongi-gada. The motivation I gave out for the first... Oh. The motivation gave out the first time when Maki was murdered. The outside world I saw, there was already a miserable world where they couldn't even run properly. Where no one could even run properly. What is that? Mikaru was in... Atano was fueled by the initial motivation. Other talented colleagues and rivals are... I can't even talk anymore. So what's the use of getting out of here if my own leg... with my own leg moving with good ones? What did you see? Hatano. What happened? I guess there isn't really a point of getting out of here with good legs, what she was trying to say. It was clear to us that the video was fabricated, so you were the one who ran around first telling us not to be fooled. I know, I wanted to make sure it was true. Until I saw it with my own eyes, I was anxious and felt like I was going crazy every day. It's not a recent thing. It's been lingering in my head ever since Yamaki died. I had nightmares every night and was always confused, even when I was with you. The tragedy of everything that could be said to be my everything disappearing into emptiness. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. No one could argue with Atano. The feeling Atano felt was exactly the same as mine. because I kept seeing flashes of my family, and I felt anxious when I was alone, so I couldn't stay still. In the end, the culprit was once again a motive. There's that motive once again. I was letting my guard down because the new motive called Secret Note had come out, but the motivation Monokuma first gave out will not disappear no matter how many new motivations appear. The powerful image is firmly embedded in my mind. I understand how you feel, but there is something strange about you. I don't feel the same strong will as Shigematsu Hiro. The desire to go out. Are you conflicted? Conflicted. Would you abandon us for the sake of the outside world? Will you accept death of your precious friend Tyra? Are you conflicted about that? It's not that grandiose, but by the time Maeda pointed out that I was the culprit, I had already given up on escaping. After everything that had been revealed had already been revealed. The reason I struggled until the end was ugly. It's because of Akane. I was relieved when I found out that Akane's stabbing of Tomori during Ayame during the trial was nothing, was nothing more than an accident. I was relieved when I found out during the trial that Akane's stabbing of Tomori was nothing more than an accident. Because I knew that Akane was the same Akane I knew. But after I had accused of being the criminal, Akane tried harder to deny my crime to me, who was the criminal, to prevent me from being executed. I am the one who betrayed you and committed murder. I was a little happy on the inside because I thought she felt the same way, just as I hoped Akane wouldn't die. More than that, how disappointed will Akane be if I admit to the crime? That's what I thought, so I tried to force myself to do something I couldn't do. As expected, Maeda-kin can handle it. Why are you smiling? Are you angry too? Angry, Akano? I knew you'd be disappointed, but I'm sorry. Why did you die because of something like me? How is it possible to smile like that? Why smile? Akane is asking something really strange. Thanks to me, Akane survived safely. What could be happier than this? Hatano. I had to, more of a side character had to die to preserve a more main character. That for some reason, Otori's line there was translated to black porridge by Google Translate. In the end, I'm just a fool who ended up doing something I shouldn't do while weighing between my dreams and my relationships. Still, I'm satisfied because at least I was able to save Akane. I feel relieved somehow, or somewhere, in some way, even though my dream ends here. Don't you guys don't make the same mistake I did. Chase the greatest dream you believe in. I chose to protect my friends rather than my dreams. Now I may say goodbye to this world, but at least I have no regrets. Don't say things like goodbye or the end. If you say such ominous things, something like that will really happen. Well, it will. I woke up to you saying that. What? Monokuma. I understand Atano-san's situation, but it's been too long. This is a game, so we need to consider the player's perspective as well. Yes, it's like 2.5 hours of footage on the second half of this trial. Shut up, Akane! Shut up, Monokuma. I don't know what thoughts Miss Hatano had, or under what circumstances she committed the murder. In the end, the fact was she killed Tomori-san doesn't change. Murdering disrupts the order. Okay. The blackened who disrupts the order needs appropriate punishment. The Google Translate of that is very unfortunate. Yes, I must be punished. I must pay for my sins. You have a confident attitude. I don't like that. It's completely different from before. But I will do everything for Miss Atano and Miss Tyra. In the end, the real reason was that she wanted to leave. Why did you say, Miss Atano, a little while ago, you were conflicted because you wanted to leave? That's right, in the end it's because of your greed, just like before. Shut up, you're the one who created the situation. What do you want to say or whatever? What I want to say is that you're really stupid. Ha 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 ha. If you forget about the outside world, things like this won't happen. You could just live comfortably here. But you really want to go out. If you want to experience a murder case like that, I won't stop you. Stop talking nonsense and move on quickly, you in-a-hashy area bastard, whatever that means. Whatever, I'm careful not to meddle with you guys. Well then, since it's already well past midnight, shall we get started? It's actually not past midnight this time on my end. Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time! We've prepared a special punishment for super high school level sprinter Hatano. Oh, it's track and field club. The blackened in this incident. I guess it's not actually super high school level sprinter. It's kind of a bad translation from the original demo build chapter 1. It's super high school level track and field athlete. Take care, everyone. Wait a minute, Yami-chan, wait, I have a lot of things I haven't told you yet. Yami-chan! Then, let's go strong. Oh, this is the, let's give it everything we've got. This is when that happens. I did it too early somehow. That the heart-pounding excitement line, it should have been heart-pounding excitement. Is when I just want to overwrote. Because of a fool, Yami-chan, because of me, because of a fool like me, I accidentally stabbed someone, I didn't take care of it, and I caused trouble for you and brought you into the situation. Tyra Kane, don't go. My wife will die. What? It's up to me to die. I'll die in your place. But that's not how the rules work. You can't just do what you want, Akane. It's punishment time! Akane. You're alive. It's okay. Wait! I muted my microphone in an attempt to take off my background noise out of the execution, and which the music will probably be super low anyway. Maybe that's the reason why I should do that. And clicking out of the game paused the game animation, so that's why there's an awkward pause in there.
This exhilarating feeling of endorphins being released. Ayami-chan.
No! Blood. Hatano. I don't think I could survive this age. Hatano was executed. Yes, we just witnessed that. So cruelly, so mercilessly. Before I knew it, I found myself covering my mouth to hold back the vomiting that had reached my throat. For my colleagues and my best friends, Hatano willingly gave up her life. How many people in this world can do that? Hatano... Blackened, huh? Is this a dream? How long do I have to keep living this nightmare?
That's up to you! If you just forget about the outside world and stay here in peace, it won't be a nightmare! You'll be so happy that you won't know where to turn!
Even in the very first... What? From the very first, you keep emphasizing the phrase, forget about the outside world. What is your purpose? Why are you trying to keep us from going outside? If I tell you that, it might be a major spoiler, and protests might pour in like a flood. Shut up, you bastard. Why are you making us do this? Wouldn't it be hopeless to kill each other without knowing that? Then let me ask you something different. Just consider the cost of the school's facilities and these executions. It's absolutely impossible under normal circumstances. What on earth are you? What is your background? You really have a lot of questions. Okay then. Should I give you a special service? Everything that happens inside this school is just what was there from the beginning. I just modified it a little bit, which is contradiction. I tried so hard to make you feel amazing despair. But you guys don't even listen to me. It's sad. Why are you so loud? What is despair? Is it so fun to play with people's lives? Yes, it is. Do you think I'm making you do this just so I can have fun? Well, yes, actually. Well, I am actually enjoying it, but you guys don't know how important all these things are. They're happening right now. Do you have any idea? You don't have any idea. What are you talking about? You don't know anything. If you're curious, you can do your own research and find out. It's also written in the school rules that you're free to investigate. Well, now that's like that, shall we settle down soon? I enjoyed the brilliant execution. I woke up feeling warm, but if I don't sleep soon, it's dangerous because I'll be sleeping all day tomorrow. Well, good job, everyone. Looks like you're enjoying your despair. The class trial will end around this time. Good night. Malakuma disappeared. The only thing that lingered was the sound of Tyra sobbing. I felt like I was going crazy too. Indescribable evil, indescribable despair. I felt like my body was being crushed by that enormous pressure. Let's not give up here and move forward, even for the sake of our dead friends. Even though my head thought that, my body did not follow suit. Can I really get out of here? The second class trial has already ended. People lost their lives. Who's next? Is it me? Whoa. Ah! Ick, hick. Calm down, Tyra. Everyone is sad the same way. It's because of me. Kazuna-chan died because of me, and Yamai-chan died because of me. That's right, it's all because of me. Because of me. Because of me! Except it's like me because of. The because gets drawn out. Because it's Korean. Criticizing yourself. We all know it wasn't because of Tyra, but we couldn't say anything to her. It's hard to support yourself, but taking care of others is truly the level of a saintly gentleman. All we can try to do for Tyra is to let her cry as much as she wants without touching her. Being able to express different feelings with tears. It should have been that way. You're so loud. What? Yes, I know it's because of you. If you feel so guilty, why not write a suicide note? What did you say, Kinjo? Say it again! It is better to leave a bitch like you behind. Hick! Kinjo. What nonsense. I hate this the most. This guy. This person is truly dark. Cleverly evaded the law and was found not guilty. The black? The blackened? Who else is there? How many times has it not been revealed that it was an accident that Tyra stabbed Tomori? It is as you said, even after leaving. Is that what you would say to someone who's heartbroken over losing a friend? An accident. Of course, that's true. Who was the one who started it? And Atano Yame, who struck the final blow under any pretext, are all guys who deserve to be punished. Those two died after being punished. Beyond those two, Tyra Akane, who was the key to the incident, is alive and well. You guys forgot. Even if this woman stabbed Tomori by accident, Tyra even made a false statement during the class trial to hide the fact of her crime. It's not scary to even imagine what would have happened if we had been caught there. Whether directly or indirectly, Tyra Akane almost put us all in danger. That was unavoidable. Tyra knew that she was the criminal, and that she would be executed if she stayed silent. Then you shouldn't have done something like that in the first place. I think it makes sense that a guy is willing to be innocent, even if it's an accident, would immediately go wash the blood and destroy the evidence after stabbing Tomori. Or would be innocent because there was an accident. It's not normal to at least help Tomori. Or they didn't just at least help Tomori or give first aid as soon as possible. Or think about calling Inori. There is a point, but Tyra, please think about it. It could be that the accident didn't work properly because she was in a state of panic. No, I was convinced after this incident that if Tyra Akane becomes truly a blackhead, she will definitely be trying to deceive us with selfish thoughts. I'll give you a slap for that bullshit, bastard! Bear with me. Raise your fist, brave man. What? Think carefully about whether what I said was wrong. You guys need to look at the situation more objectively. I still have a lot to talk about, but I don't think it's something to talk about in times of confusion like now. It's late today, so let's all go and talk about our future policy tomorrow morning. I'm just waiting for you. Is it okay if you just say what you want to say and leave? Hey, bastard, don't just stand there. Why is he like that? Kinjo himself seems to be the one causing the trouble. What should we do now? Is Tyra better than... Is Tyra okay? It must be been really hard because you lost your friend, and I even heard something like that, and even hearing something like that from Kinjo. That's right. Tyra, is Tyra okay? Oh, well. I'm sorry. Is Tyra, are you okay? No, she needs an exorcism. Let's all rest today. The class trial, I'm not comfortable enough to talk about it after it's over. It's already late. It's dawn. Let's go and sleep. Let's do as Kurukawa said. Honestly, I don't have time to think about it right now. Let's listen to Kinjo tomorrow and sleep today. That's it. At times like these, I need to be stronger. Good night, everyone. Being in this situation is abnormal in itself, but the current situation is much more serious than the first class trial. Kinjo, who is supposed to lead everyone, seems to be getting more and more twisted, and his friends begin to lose their lives one by one. Also my friends. It's just friends. What can I do at a time like this? Relieving tension by playing around with everyone? Chasing my dream? At this point, I feel like anything is impossible. I don't have the strength to think anymore, so let's call it a night. Back to my room. As I left the courthouse, or the courtroom, and returned to my dorm, I said goodnight to some friends, but everyone seemed to be feeling a bit down. It's natural, but... Actually, it was only 3 or 4 hours before I returned to my room. Why was it that long? Oh, because there's no numbers in here. What? Within those... Oh, since I had last been in my room. There we go. Within those 3 or 4 hours, we lost something very precious. It feels like I came back after being away for several years. The hard dormitory bed, which was not comfortable at all, felt better than anything else right now. I'm tired. A hopeless situation in which I have tasted the despair of your friends' deaths and don't even know if you'll be able to rise again. What kind of despair awaits us for tomorrow? Now I don't even feel like there is hope somewhere. Or hope anywhere. I've only passed the second class trial, but this is not the end. The despair that surrounds me was coming closer and closer, entangling us more and more. Annyeong, which is like hello. I don't know if you're having a good time. Is there anything uncomfortable? Oh, it would be strange if you were comfortable with being all tied up like this. No, if you are Jin Sung Mango, you would be comfortable, but you're not. And I'm here to bring you food again today. Your appearance is yet to come. Well, so take care of your health until then. Oh, by the way, who would have known that you would ended up like this? Forgive me for having no choice but to keep you locked up in this place. Actually, it would have been nice if I had to get to stay with if you got to stay with everyone too. You can't do that, right? I still like being blunt. Everything will be fine when your turn comes. How many people will survive by then? Huh? What'd you say? You don't have to worry, because the woman you care about is still alive and well. I'll just leave now.
If you don't keep an eye on you, even a little, they might do something. See you next time.
Chink. Who is that? Unfortunately, I was spoiled by save file. Not like into going the contents of the save file, but just like little thumbnails for save files. In save files I didn't open in the that chapter 2 to 6 build. And so that there's a name. I think it's related to the sniper. Yeah, I might know what that face, that character looks like. Now, who is the woman that he cares about, the woman that he loves? Well, we actually have them up right here, right? We have Tyra. We've got Ray. We have Inori, going right to left, up top to bottom. We've got Miss Clown, Satsuki, goes by Iranami. And we have Mikako Kurukawa. For some reason, I want to guess it's Mikako. There was a boy that she used to somewhat adore, but now claims is dead. She has some reason to believe that now he is dead. You might be able to rule it out. Well, maybe she thought he was dead, but he's not, or something. But they can't necessarily rule out any of the other girls. The other girls could still be the culprit. Something I noticed here is that isn't the little thumbnails for the people who died as Blackens, like the whole part of the big drawing that shows up at the end of the the summary of the case of their whole body drawing. Maybe might be reused here. Anyway, 11 people. Would you like to save my data? Yes. Save it in 13. And that's it. I was able to realize that I had woken up. I didn't feel particularly sleepy or achy. But strangely, I didn't want to open my eyes. I was surprised that I could sleep even though two of my friends had already died. Maki dies for the first time, died the first time. He was, Higa was executed by who killed Maki, was executed by Monokuma. Not long after, Tomori was brutally murdered by someone. That someone who killed Tomori was Satano, who was also executed by Monokuma. Not only that, I'm worried about Kinjo's problem with Tyra's mental state. Someone's mood has become more fierce. Even if we unite, we can't do anything. There's too much hostility between us. This is not the time, but I need to meet up with everyone and talk to them right now. Is that Kinjo? No, that's the morning announcement. Hello, it's morning. It's time to wake up. Let's live throughout today energetically. It's 7 a.m. now. For some reason, I can't open my eyes, but I have to force myself to get up. Been about 6 hours, right? Everyone was out of their minds, and we were tired, but we couldn't talk properly, and we parted ways. Let's talk again about yesterday. Let's go to the restaurant. Since we originally decided to have breakfast together, everyone may have been headed to the restaurant by now. You don't encounter anybody in the hallway? Ah, Ray in the hallway. Let's go to the restaurant first and talk to everyone. You. Mikaru. Hi. Mooning. Oh, incompetent. You're here at last. Charyaska? Whatever that means. Yes. It's nothing. By the way, I don't want to go to the restaurant. Don't you want to go to the restaurant? Something like that. It's a question. Yes, for now anyway. Things are getting fun again. Hurry up and go to the restaurant. Why is Mikaru like that? If it's something she would like, it probably isn't something good for us. And then we save. And we're actually going to go into the restaurant, which I don't want to do right now because it's a long time before I can save again. Because in this, you can't save during conversations. You can only save when you're walking. So next one, we'll dive into Chapter 3.